Hello again, this is Victor James, author of The Megacosm, and today we're reviewing a movie called Mercy, a movie starring Chris Pratt and the lovely Rebecca Ferguson. This movie actually had a pretty short theatrical run, bringing in about 54 million worldwide, but I feel like Chris Pratt is better known as the most successful straight-to-home video guy ever. At least that's what he would have been called when I was growing up. Anyway, Mercy has a similar feel to Minority Report, but instead of precogs, the justice system is run by artificial intelligence. Crime is rampant, and officials have turned to Mercy, the AI, to use actual police evidence to prosecute and execute criminals, so there's still a level of human involvement. And according to the stats, crime has dropped 68% since Mercy was initiated, which is great and all, but it kind of brings up Blackstone's ratio. And if you don't know what Blackstone's ratio is that it's better that 10 guilty persons go free than 1 innocent person suffer, and Mercy is actually meant to have a perfect punishment rate. And in this future, you're guilty until proven innocent, which is a complete flip of our constitutional rights, but people will surprisingly give up many things if it guarantees safety. And Chris Pratt plays Chris Raven, a detective who, along with his partner Jack, were the first officers to find a suspect and then have them tried under Mercy. Their suspect was a homeless killer named David Webb. Chris is a strong believer in Mercy, so he was shocked to wake up in Mercy's chair. The AI is called Judge Maddox, who tells Chris he has 90 minutes to prove his innocence, because remember, you're guilty first. And man, 90 minutes feels like so short a time period to prove your innocence. I mean, what person will have their wherewithal to follow any clues to their innocence in just 90 minutes? And Chris begins his trial with a 97.5% chance that he has committed this crime, which is past the 80% threshold for a death sentence. Chris is a detective, so he begins to unravel the threads to his case. But of course, not everything is as it seems, as the trail to his case takes him down several twists and turns. It's your standard whodunit movie, but honestly, for a while, you actually start suspecting people who may have done it, or question if even Chris himself had did it. And that's the fun thing about watching these murder mysteries, to see if you can actually figure things out before it ends. I know I made some guesses that turned out to be wrong, and I thought of some twists that actually would have made this movie pretty wild. And I like how the movie casts doubt on Chris that maybe he was the culprit after all, as he has to face down demons in his past. He's not exactly the squeaky clean detective you expect for such a movie. And there's some good use of technology in Mercy, and some really good dummy work, or CGI, but there are several times you see people flung from a vehicle that look very good. But then there's other times the effects look kinda bad, like Jax's drone cycle. It looks very flimsy and cheesy, like she's kinda scared to make any move while riding it. Rebecca Ferguson does a good job as the AI Judge Maddox. Maddox sometimes comes off as aloof, condescending, and even judgmental in the fact that it believes it's infallible. But other times you get the sense that AI is truly in the pursuit of justice. Oftentimes Maddox will goad Chris into pursuing the truth, even if it's dark. Other times will point to parts of his investigation that he has forgotten or flubbed. So you continually go back and forth with how you feel about the AI as the movie goes along, and I thought that was really good. And while I find Mercy entertaining, I feel like they let go of the tension too soon, as in the mystery is peeled apart rather quickly, making the ticking clock kind of a background noise near the end of the movie. But like I said, it's a good mystery to unravel. Mercy has more twists than I expected. Nothing mind-blowing like Primal Fear or something, but big enough to make the movie interesting. And the movie does make you think about some of the broader themes like AI, justice, crime, spousal abuse, just not to the extent that you will see it end up in, Criterion Collection or something. Overall, I would give Mercy a 7 out of 10. Chris Pratt gives his usual performance, and Rebecca Ferguson gives the AI judge a sense of personality. Chris's partner Jack is a big part of the story as well, and Kelly Reese does an okay job playing her, but she was probably the most weaker link of the cast. But if you have Amazon Prime, I would give Mercy a watch. This fits right up there with the rest of the Chris Pratt movies from Amazon, like Tomorrow War, where you can sit down and expect to be entertained for an hour and a half. And given today's environment, that's pretty much all you can ask for a movie. A special shout out to my new subscribers, and I invite you to read my first book, Fiasco Adventures, available on Amazon. This is a great book and it's doing very well. And I also invite you to read my novelette, The Mark, which is also available on Amazon. And I also have a website, themegacosm.com, where you can buy the books and you can read some of my short stories for free and read some of my articles I do for bleedingfool.com. But thanks again. Thanks for watching. God bless you and keep you. That's it. I'm done.